Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Well, you can see a gold star on the scenario we're doing today, and that basically tells you all you need to know. The recording didn't work. I was just relaxing after having played this scenario, and I went to edit it, and all of a sudden, bam. And now it's early in the morning on a day I need to leave early, and I'm kind of rushing to get this done. So we're going to go ahead and just take a good run at this, and hopefully get another perfect run at this. And if not, then you'll just get to laugh at the fact I didn't do perfectly this time. In any case, not that it matters. I wanted to see if it could be done. It turns out it can be done. So I'll tell you, whatever happens right now, this can be done perfectly if you try it. But it's very, very tight. You actually should get another minute on one of the stops, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and take a look at the scenario, and I'll explain what I mean when we get to that part of the scenario. We're starting today at Bayreuth, taking the RE32 1503. Let's go. Good afternoon, driver. Please set up your train and allow passengers to board here at Bayreuth Hbf ahead of our departure time of 15:03. Although it's an overcast day, we are not expecting any severe weather to set in. Let's go. We're going to do the first thing we need to do first, which is zoom in on this little thing over here, and we're going to move this up so you can see that again is the power on off. Let's open the doors, by the way. So that's done. So the power is on. I'm going to use the K shortcut and turn on the brake key, which is over here. Maybe if it'll highlight. There it is. And let's bring the HUD up. We're going to bring the reverser forward, and we're going to look at our timetable. We only have 3 stops today. We have a few minutes before leaving, so I'll take a chance to look at the map and show you the exact route. Now, you're going to have to forgive me. The train cab tour is going to wait. I wanted to do that, but obviously it's now not going to happen. We're going to put that off until the next time I come here, and I will go ahead and do that train tour for you at that time. So let's go ahead and look at what we're doing today. We are starting at the north end of the route. And we do have exits to Bindlach and Bayreuth St. Georgen, which is St. Georgen Street, I believe. And we also have another exit on the side we're going to Stockau. So that's going to be going off as we leave to Stockau. And we're going to continue down the route at this point. So obviously we're starting here at Bayreuth. And we're starting with a pickup in our little green train here, which is a German thing. The trains are green in German, green and gray. We're going to go to Pegnitz, which is way down here. We have a long, long drive to Hensbruck, and then we're going to finish our trip to Nuremberg Hbf on some of the fastest speed limits that we have on this journey. I want to point out that this trip to Pegnitz is very, very tight. If there's any way that I'm going to screw up this scenario's perfect score, this is where it's going to happen. I didn't mean to do that. This is where it's going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and look at the train before we depart. We're going to see what happens today. And here we go, leaving Bayreuth. Our first stop today will be Pegnitz. We are leaving at a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour. We're going to go ahead and start decreasing the power to increase. That increases to the speed limit here. I want to make sure I don't speed in too quickly to that 60. So we're going to keep the increase going for a moment there very slowly. Got it down perfectly. So I'm holding at 60.0, maybe going up just slightly. You see we're in a 110 now, but you can also see the signal that we're passing down on the ground limits us further to 60 kilometers per hour. So we're going to have to go a moment longer at the 60 speed limit. Slowly increasing. I think we're going to be fine here. There it is. We can now increase power fully and continue up to 110 kilometers per hour. And that's the speed limit we're going to be going for at least the short term here. We have 25 kilometers or so of journey time here. Maybe 26 if you count where we started. And as I kind of alluded to already, this is the tightest part of the scenario. If we're going to mess up the perfect score, this is going to be the leg we do it on. But I've had a little bit of practice in the last run that failed to record. I think we're going to pull this off again. Let's try and do it again. Even so, I pulled it off with a very, very small margin of error. I think I had about a few seconds to spare. So it is very, very tight. Okay, we're going to start decreasing the power on this. That's still too fast. We're holding a little bit now. This is okay. If I can keep a small increase, that would actually be ideal because we can actually use the brake. And not have to adjust our rate of increase if we have a small enough rate of increase. That's kind of what I'm going for here. I want to be close to 110. And then if I hit 110, I can hit the brakes and pull it back by 1 or 2 kilometers and not have to adjust my rate of increase. So I'm trying to get that small rate of increase that will allow me to do that. I'm not there yet because I just went down in speed. So there we go. Let's try to get this locked in here. You'll see what I mean once I get there. I'm kind of stuck. Oh, there I go. I'm going up to 107. That's what I wanted to see. So now that we are increased on this uphill gradient, we might actually lose speed again because it's getting steeper again. We will see. I might just keep that one if that happens. In any case, you can see it's 250 points per stop. No room to spare if you're going for points. Not that the points, you know, matter, but... So we're coming to some speed drops up ahead. You can see a 90 kilometer per hour speed limit about 2 kilometers away here. First thing we want to point out here. You can see a signal beyond that. Something may be happening up there. We'll find out. We just hit 108, but I'm going to need to slow down for the 90 anyway, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I have the slow rate of increase, which is what I want, so I'm actually very happy with that. I'm going to actually leave that set for now and try to maintain speeds near the speed limit at all times. That is going to be my objective at this stage. But for right now, we're going to do a small brake application to try and get us down to 90. Just a small one, not too much for right now. And that's actually a little stronger than I expected. So I might hold just a little longer here. I think I want to use a harder brake application anyway to get down to speed. And there's an adverse signal. We're going to have a 60 up ahead, I believe that says. If I'm right, then we need to meet 60 by the next signal. So I'm going to keep a brake application going very, very small. And I don't think it's by the next signal. It's by the one following that. So the second of the signals. There is a third signal after that. We are coming up to some kind of split track area. And you can see a white light. I think that means a 40 is also coming up. So we're going to be losing a bit of speed to get down to 60. Actually, not quite yet. Just slow decrease for right now. Okay, we need that brakes on. There we go. That's what I want to see for right now. We're going to have to bring it down further, I believe, to 40 if I'm correct. So we did pass a signal, and the 60 is not quite in effect, but it's going to be shortly. There it is. So the 60 is now in effect. And if I'm right, that 40 is going to be at the following signal. So I can push it just a little longer here, and now that we're going through this... what looks like a platform area. I wonder if this is a closed platform, actually. I have to look this up at some point. We're going to keep the speed coming down for a moment. Easing it off because I'm coming down a little too quickly. So this is where the challenging part of the journey really is. Trying to slow down for these signals without losing too much time. It's possible to lose too much time on these signals. Now, even with a small brake application, at this point, I am still, my train is still trying to gain speed. So you see if I take it off, I'm going up quite highly on the 40. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hold at 40 point, nope, don't do that. Brakes on again. We're going to try to hold at 40 point something right now. And as soon as we are released into speed increases again, we'll go ahead and we'll put our power back on to fully increase our speed. It should be shortly, I believe. There is the 100. So we are going 100 kilometers per hour speed limit at this time. We're going to apply a lot of power. Nice thing about 100 is that we have full eyesight of the decimals, so we can fine-tune our speed before we get to the 110. So that's going to be very, very nice for us. We'll be able to use our brake to manage things a little bit here as well. So I went ahead and started decreasing the power a little bit there. We're going to increase it a little bit more now to get our increase to a slow pace. A little slower. We're on an uphill anyway, so we kind of want to have a little bit of increase to combat this uphill. And that was too much decrease. So, up we go. There it is. That's what I want to see. A little faster would be nice. We'll work with this. Working our way up to 110 in a moment. Oh, I'm speeding. Oh, it just got me. Darn it. Cheating. It's cheating, I tell you. It's cheating. It shouldn't have got me there. I shouldn't have gone up. I pulled the power off. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm not caring enough to rerun that right now. The way I see it, the timing is just so tight that it's not worth rerunning this, the timing on this. It's not worth rerunning this for that points, especially when I've already got the score anyway. But I should be getting to 110. Like, what's going on here? I should be moving up to 110. Nope. Get up to 110, please. I am going to lose time on this slower speeds that I was going for a moment there. By the way, I swear that -2 penalty came after the point where I was already in the 110, so there seemed to be quite a delay on that penalty taking effect there, or the speed was not actually in effect for the 110 at that point. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to review the tape on that. So we're going to use a small brake application to try to hold speed. I'm actually losing speed, which was not what the plan was. So we're going to keep the brake off periodically. We're going to put it back on, and actually I'm losing speed now. That was not the plan. Okay, we're not doing this 102 and a 110. Come on, guys. This is not funny. This is not funny at this stage. Anything but funny. I think my pace of increase is just a little too large here. Yep, brakes are actually doing their job here. Here comes... I missed pointing out Crescen's... Or, what was it? I can't remember the name of it now. Crescent, or however it was said. The one that has the double S character, which I think is called an N font or something like that. I looked up earlier, I had it for the video, and now I don't remember. Train Simulator After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to make sure we don't speed, so we're putting a little brake application on there. That didn't do the job. We're going to hold it for a moment. We're also coming to the top of a gradient, so I'm going to have to reduce my power a little bit here anyway, because we are coming to the top of this gradient. So once we get to the top of this little hill, we're going to be increasing to 120 anyway, I believe, at this point, once we get through this station platform. There's no sign for it, which is kind of mysterious. Why is there no sign to tell us we're going to be going to 120? So that is a missing speed limit marker that we need here. But it is going to happen. There it is. So slight increase now. I put a small amount of throttle increase. And let's see what our situation is now. 4 minutes to go 8 kilometers. Yep, we're pushing it. We are pushing the timing on this one, guys. Don't hold it there, please. Okay, so we're going to use the brake application so we don't have to take too much speed off of our target here. There we go. So I am getting a decrease. That's what I wanted to see. That serves for a test. So I'm going to use 119 as my top speed at this time. And there is 119, so I'm going to apply a small brake application. We're back to 118. We're just going to go back and forth here. I think we're getting a little bit of a downhill here. I might have to hold this brake for a moment. We have a 110, I believe that is, coming up here. So we're going to have to hold our... There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I want to try to hold my speed for a little while on this hill, but I am going to have to decrease to that 110. That is why I said I think I'm pushing the stop on this one. We could be late. But we're still pushing 120 right now. The downhill is giving us a little speed. Yeah, we're still gaining speed here. I'm going to try to push this to try to get us... Oh, the downhill is going away. That's actually working in my favor right now. It's trying to reappear, but... Now you see that 100 up ahead. We're going to have to be under 100 by the time we reach that sign anyway. Because if we're not going to be able to stop. The station is right beyond that. We are looking at 3 kilometers to go. So the station will be right beyond that. But for right now, we can maintain speed at 110. Or 109, as the case may be. Whoop, that's not speed again. Yeah, we might be slightly late on this. I'm going to be coming in a lot faster than I normally would for this stop. And trying to run a very hard brake application. Because at this point, I think I'm going to be late. I might even overshoot the platform. Okay, so now we're within 1 kilometer. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to push this one. Still working out where I want to hit the brakes. Oh, if I'm on time, this will be very fortunate. No, I'm going to be late. I can't be on time. It's not possible. So you're going to see just how hard this stop is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm only going to get a couple cars in here. I'm not going to go all the way in. But you're going to see how late you can be for this stop right now just by doing what I'm doing. So 7 seconds after the minute. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, I took a 9-point timeliness penalty on that particular stop. And that means that I was marked as being 9 seconds late. You have to be there by 15, 19, and 58 seconds, I believe it is. Did I get that right? Yeah, I think it was 15, 19, and 58 seconds. If you're not there at that exact time or earlier, you are marked late. And you saw that I was trying to run close to the speed limit. The hills will get you on this one, unfortunately. So it is very, very difficult to pull this off in a timely fashion. And if I were to make a suggestion, I would suggest that 1 more minute needs to be added to that stop, just to make it more easily achievable. Of course, it shouldn't be too easy, but at the same time, that is very, very difficult for an average player to figure out if they like to travel a little bit under the speed limit just for safety's sake, especially if they're trying to avoid penalties. So this is one of those ones where it feels like you have to go Indy 500 if you want to make it to your stops on time, which is not a good feeling for a scenario from a player perspective. And if you were playing in a standard timetable type scenario, I would have failed the scenario right now. I would be failing the scenario. So if a scenario is timed that you can fail the scenario by trying to play properly, then that's not really a good scenario setup. In this case, it's just going to be a 9-point penalty. That and the rogue speeding that was in there being counted in that. I'm not sure, again, how it counted that speeding penalty, but it did. So yeah, this is a scenario that I would suggest shave 1 minute or add 1 minute to that timing. And I'm not 100% sure if the other timings would need to be adjusted by a minute or not. We're going to check our times as we go. I should be okay the rest of the way here because I'm going to be running 100. That was the hardest part of the route that just is behind us. So I'm going to be running speed limits the rest of the way here. I should be able to try to maintain those speed limits once I get up to them. And that will allow me to run very, very close to time and possibly be slightly early for each of these other points. So we're going to see what happens here. On the run that I thought I was already trying to tape, these next 2 stops I did in 1 attempt. So they're not that hard, these other 2. It's just that first one. This is also the longest part of the journey coming up. So I don't really want to have to redo this too much either. We're just going to do this in 1 run as well. Now, something I can tell you about this scenario, there is an achievement for this scenario, and I'll try and get the information on that later. I'm not going to try and bring it up while I'm driving for obvious reasons, but I think each scenario is tied to an achievement, and that's just a guess on that. The first 3 are tied to achievements. We've already seen the first 2. I'm not going to be able to show you the third one. I'm going to have to tell you, and you're going to have to take my word for it when I get to it. But I believe it was for 750 points for this one. And I believe that's what the achievement text says, 750 points. It's either that or 850, but I think it's 750. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. We are getting into very, very nice weather. And at least where I am, we are getting some very nice clear conditions. We are getting rain occasionally, but we're getting some nice clear conditions. We're not getting snow, which I guess is a good thing. The forecast for Wednesday back on the weekend said 15 degrees Celsius. Now, for those of you who don't understand the Celsius system, you imperialists, as I like to refer to you in America, we refer to that as a high number of degrees Fahrenheit. But not so high that you are burning. Such as in an oven. I believe it's something like 72 or something like that, or 70. I'll just say right now, convert to Celsius. It's easy to understand what the freezing and boiling points are. 0 and 100. Easy. Fahrenheit should only be used for cooking, in my opinion. And honestly, I will use Fahrenheit for cooking. Because for that purpose, it is much more precise. In terms of it gives, instead of having, it's like having a wider range of numbers to choose from when you're cooking, which is actually a good thing. The difference between 375 and 400 is a much smaller difference than the difference between 160 and 170. Or I should say 175 and 200. If you want a better example. The latter being Celsius. Enough about Fahrenheit and Celsius. One day we'll all use Kelvin. Wait. No, we're not. Never mind. So we are going to get some faster speed limits up ahead. I'm waiting for the 110 and the 120. That will make our timing look a little easier. Right now, we're estimated to arrive at our location ahead in 11 minutes. That is anything but accurate. We're going to be looking closer to the 14, 15 minutes. 16 is when we're supposed to be there. 16 minutes, that is. Because if you've seen the other scenarios that I've played here so far, you notice that we tend to lose time on our ETA no matter where we are on this route. Given how late it is I'm recording this, I think it's a good time to address the passengers as a sleepy train driver who didn't get enough sleep. Ding dong! Good morning, good afternoon, passengers, whatever it is. I can't tell you right now. But I want you to be aware that I am feeling sleepy. Your driver is feeling sleepy today, and just in case it seems like we've lost control of the train, I want to remind you that the emergency brakes are not to be used unless in an emergency situation. In that case, if I do fall asleep, that would be an emergency situation. Please pull them if needed. Preferably check what I'm doing before you pull them. Thank you. Now that's out of the way, let's continue into our 110 kilometer per hour speed limit. I took a little too much speed off in that last stretch, but we're still going to be okay for this timing, I believe. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to cut off one more time and just do a small increase into the 110 that's coming up. Actually, I'm going to need to do it one more time. We're going to see our first AI train here. Let's take a quick look at... Never mind, I was too slow. We don't know who that is. That's fine. Probably an RE30 service. I'm not taking enough speed off for one more time. I'm just going to keep doing the little back and forth here for now. So we're coming up to Newhouse. This is normally an important platform. We're not It's not important to us today. We're not stopping there today, and just one more tiny brake application should do it. So we're going to go ahead and increase to 110 now. I'm going to go ahead and just let the speed increase slowly at this phase, because I believe that is an appropriate way to do this. Actually, you know what? There's a 120 coming up. No, another 100 coming up. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let the speed increase very, very slowly, and then we'll bring it back down very quickly. That's certainly appropriate, isn't it? That is certainly appropriate. You can see there's a 120 right behind that as well. I may increase the speed gain a little bit to get to the 120, because from that point onwards, I think we are going to be generally working in 120. Except maybe another drop to 100 further ahead if there is one. So we're coming up to Velden platform in about 2 kilometers or so. Ooh, that's coming off quicker than I expected. So we're going to go ahead and keep the brakes off for a moment longer and just come in a little faster while we can. Then I'll get our speed down to 100. Objective is to not speed, so I'm going to bring it down now, just so I'm safe. It's a very, very short stint that we have at 100, so I'm taking it down to the 98s. And I should be able to let the speed slowly increase from here. We should be fine. I am going to go ahead and increase our power when we get into the 120, but only when we get into the 120. Alright, this is good enough. So we're having a little bit faster increase on the speed now, going to 120. We still have 19 kilometers to go to our next stop. So, like I said, this is a long stretch of railway journey, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very long stretch of railway. Ruprechtstegen is coming up, as you can see up ahead. About 1.5 kilometers away at this point, a little more than that actually. Look at that 100. You notice I didn't rush up to 120? I knew I was going to have to fiddle with the throttle a lot if I did that. So I'm going to take it back off just a little bit now, and we're going to halt our increase to some extent. Well, a little bit. We were gaining anyway originally. We are going to have another 110 after this momentary lapse of 100. But because we are working on faster speeds now, and let's actually pull that throttle back a little again. I'm going to go ahead and start putting brakes on now to see how it responds. It's coming off a little quickly for my taste, so we're going to hold at 110 for a moment. Now we're going to reapply the brakes. I'm right around where I want to be right now, I think. So slightly early on the 100, but I will take it. We can drop down to about 98, maybe 97.5, and that should do the job for us. So there we go. Brakes are off. Let's see what happens with a speed increase to 110. Oh, it's increasing a little too quickly for my liking right now. Actually, I need a little more. There we go. That should do the job. Maybe. Maybe. Oh yeah, it definitely did the job. We're only going to 110, so I'm not going to fiddle with the throttle too much. We're just going to go up to 110 at a nice casual pace as we go through another tunnel. I think it's our last tunnel. You can see Vora is coming up. Now a little over 14 kilometers from our destination. We're getting a warning signal for something up ahead. We're being warned that we still have a green signal. Perfect. That's what I want to see. And we're already up to 107, so we're going to have to continue tapping the brakes here and there to keep our speed from going too far. I'm going to use 109 as my top speed. That way if I miss it for a second, I can have a second chance at 110. There's our 109. You see we do have a 120 up ahead, so I'm not too concerned. We're going to be able to increase in a moment anyway. Now in the 2 kilometer per mile speed territory that we're going to be entering, we would be there in 6 minutes. I missed on the 109, as you might have noticed. I need to get back down to 108. This is Vora. We're now in a 120 kilometer per hour section. We're going to get a slow increase on our speed up to that 120 now. We do have a full minute or so to spare, so I am keeping it at a slow increase. We are going to get a 130 section up ahead as well. So we will have the opportunity to get up to a little bit of a faster speed if we need to make up any lost time. But for right now, we are okay with our timing. There's Hohenstadt coming up. That is the last platform before we merge with the line from Pommelbrunn. We're up to 117, so I got my fingers over the brakes again. Getting ready to negotiate little speed changes here. Now the 130 is probably about 4 kilometers before the track when the other line merges in. Or before the station, I should say, before our stop. So it's not going to be a lot of time to move at a faster speed, but I am definitely going to try and take advantage of it. And I might actually increase the speed quickly to get to that before I actually hit the brakes. I'll see how I feel. I will see how I feel. There is that 130. So we're passing Hohenstadt. Looks like a bit of an overgrown part of the platform here. Unless that's actually grass. It looks like old platform. Maybe it's just a... maybe it's not platform. It looked like it could have been for a second. Overgrown platform. Might be my imagination because it's a lot longer than I would have expected. Yeah, that's not a platform. Never mind. Some stations do have overgrown platform or platform that's not used for passenger purposes. You're not allowed to go beyond as a passenger. That was not one of those. Another AI train. Alright, let's increase our speed to 130, shall we? We have a 110 coming up, so I'm not going to go all the way up to 130. We should let our passengers know about the station stop, though, because it's been quite a while. Ding dong! Attention passengers, we are coming up on the lovely station of Hensbruck. Transfers available to Pummelsbrunn and the 9th layer of Hell. Please remember that it is illegal to smoke on the station platform or in the station buildings on any Deutschbahn route. Only Deutschbahn steam engines are allowed to smoke at the platforms. Thank you. So we're down under 110, which is where I want to be right now. Yeah, we're going to cover this last kilometer quickly, so we should be getting to our stop possibly before the 44th minute hits. We'll see. So applying some brakes now, and we're going to see how well that brake works. Very poorly. Going to bring up a stronger brake application at this point, because we are approaching that platform pretty fast. I'm not sure I like the pace of the stop right now. Let's put that to a 6. Bringing it back off to a 5, maybe a 4. I want to get the whole train in because we have the time to do so, so we're going to actually take the brakes right off. Yeah, we did make it before the 44th minute hit. You can see that we are on time for this, even with our slight lateness at the previous station. But again, I think having the extra minute would help on the first stop. This stop, I was intentionally not rushing the speed to the top speed. But it would be easier if we had the 4th digit as a decimal to help manage our speed properly. In any case, arrival at Hensbruck. Leaving Hensbruck. You see that 140 up ahead? We're doing that all the way to Nuremberg. Nuremberg Hbf platform 15 is where we are heading. We are going to eventually drop to a 40 by the time we enter that platform. But for right now, we are bringing our speed up to high speed travel at 140 kilometers per hour. Leaving at a 110, so we're not quite in it yet. But we are going to be getting there. In fact, I don't even think we're going to be at 110 by the time we pass that sign, so I can just kind of leave this alone and let it go. I like that. So I'm in a pretty decent mood today, except for the fact I'm sleepy. We had, over the weekend, we had a free dental day where people were able to get either an extraction, a filling, or a teeth cleaning. I can already do extractions and fillings on an emergency basis if I need to, but I don't have any insurance for any kind of cleaning, so I need to actually get a cleaning. And the reason I'm so tired as I'm recording this is because I had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning in order to go reserve a spot. And it turned out to be a good thing I did, because they were turning people away by 8 o'clock. The line was so long. It shows you just what the need is for health and dental services in communities when you see something like this. And it's really cool that the company in question was actually hosting that event and doing that service for a lot of people for free. Because there's a lot of people who can't afford to pay for those dental services. Like, if you have insurance, you have nothing to worry about. You get it anyway every 6 months. And your appointments are scheduled as you finish the previous one. But those who can't afford it... Ooh, there was a little bit of a sun there. Those who can't afford it, definitely there's that need for it. And I'm glad I was able to take part in that today and actually get one of those services, because I'm literally can't afford it myself. Like, money is so tight these days, as I'm sure a lot of you understand, even for those who have a decent job. The amount of money being corked out for things is just ridiculous. Inflation is just sky high, to the point that minimum wage, like, the minimum wage has gone up quite a bit. I still remember not too long ago, my first jobs, I was making $6.80 an hour, or $6.85 an hour in my province, and the minimum wage is now $15. What's going to happen? Are we going to go up to $25, $30 in order to combat all these high prices? That's what you would think, but then the price of everything's going to start going up because the wages are going to increase the cost for employee costs. And the more it costs to have employees, the less employees that are able to be hired at a place. And it's really a delicate balancing act how you're going to pull that off. And as the cost of work goes up, the cost of everything else goes up, and those who can't find work or are having trouble making ends meet on what they are able to get, they're going to have a harder and harder time because everything goes up in cost with it. So I'm a little curious at this point what's going to happen with things like apartment rent prices. I've seen apartments around here that are over $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. Each person having to pay $1,500-$1,600 a month just to live there. 2 people. Minimum wage is $2,400 a month before the government takes its cut. Is the government going to give up its cut so we can survive? Nope. They want their cut no matter what. So it's kind of a very iffy situation that we're in governmentally right now, so to speak. I didn't want to decrease power there. I did, though. What I want to do is put a brake application on, which I'm still going to do. But I'm going to make sure that I am increasing. Nope, I'm not increasing. Going to make sure I am increasing, and then we're going to put that brake application on. I'd like to verify that we are increasing. Increase, please. Increase, give me a 6. There we go. That's the negotiation I wanted. We're going to bring the speed down now. Well, a little early. It's coming down pretty nicely. So we're down at our prerequisite 130 at this stage. We're going to pull the brakes off. And I'm going to eventually slowly make my way back up to 140. Which I'm going to try to maintain for about the next, I don't know, 8 or 9 kilometers that we're allowed to do so before the speed drops start coming in. So I'm going to increase power a little bit to get to that 140 again. We are seeing Loft platform right now. There's another train going by. Ludwig-Ho is coming up. Ludwig-Ho. Dropping a little bit of our throttle increase at this point, because we are getting a very decent rate of increase, so I'm trying to nip it before it gets too high. Yep, need to nip it a little more. There we go. I think at this point I could just use brakes. $15 kilometers to go to our stop, our final destination. If we did get to stay at this speed the whole way, we would we would easily make it there in 10 minutes, but we are going to have to drop our speed as we go. I think I remember there being an 80 or a 90 in the area before the platform, or after the platform as we left previously on those other scenarios. But we're going more than 2 minutes a kilometer right now, so we are going to be able to make some good time before we actually have to slow down to those speeds. We're going to make up for them right now. Can I hit 140? I'm not going to fiddle with the throttle, but I'd love to hit 140. There's the 139. As we go through Ruckersdorf, we have, I think, 3 more platforms, maybe 4, that we're going to be able to go by, and we're going to start slowing down by that 4th one, if not earlier. Probably earlier. Let's tip 140 for just a second. We can do that without speeding, because that is the speed limit. There's the 140. Got your picture? Okay, we're going to bring it down now. $137 is acceptable. We're going to maintain. I think we're going roughly 9 kilometers every 2 minutes right now. No, I said that wrong. No. Boy, I said that completely wrong. Nine kilometers every 4 minutes is what I think I'm trying to say. Something like that. In any case, we are coming up to 139 again. We are going through Beringersdorf. We're within 10 kilometers of our final destination right now. We're going to hit 140 again. I will let it. There's our 140 again. Minor application of the brakes at this point. Didn't get to 138 like I expected, so... But there is a 130 coming up. I will let 140 hit one more time, and then I'm going to start bringing it down since I have to bring it down anyway. And I think we made up enough time for what's going to be slow up ahead. I think we did enough. The hilly sections at the start of the scenario make this running along speed limit very, very difficult at the start of the scenario because the hills keep changing the speed you're working with. You can just manage the brakes and keep working the brakes a lot in those areas where there's a much higher speed coming out. Oh, we have to go to 110. I almost misread that. So you can still put a higher speed increase rate on and just keep the brakes on to counteract it. That is possible. But it still seems counterintuitive to have to run that way on very hilly areas where the speed fluctuates so much. It just seems better to run a little bit under the limit in those cases. So that's what I chose to do. I did get the perfect score on one run. You saw the gold star on the menu. We're down under 110 now. We're coming to Nuremberg Erlenstegen. So here's Erlenstegen. We're coming up next to the OST platform. We're going to have to get down to 100 before we get too close to that platform, I should say. Too far towards that platform, I guess what I was going to try to say. You see there's an 80 up ahead. We have a 90 before that as well. So we are getting tiered drops here. And now we can see the decimal. Going to pull that off for a moment because we are going to still be within 100. You can see we are indeed getting a good rate of increase here. I am going to eventually pull that off as we come close to the 40 that I'm sure we're going to have near the platform. But for right now, I need to get under 90. So let's see what kind of decrease rate we have for the 90. We have a little over half a kilometer to do it in. This might be a little tight if I keep as it is. I might need a slight boost to the brakes. No, it might be okay, actually. I think we're going to be all right here. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Take that off for a second. And actually, that's a bad idea. No, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't take that off. Went ahead and put a small decrease to the power throttle application settings there. I'm going to use a stronger brake to get this one down just to make sure we are within limits. And I want to see if I'm actually getting an increase on my speed right now. I think I am still getting some increase. Okay, we're going to bring it down the rest of the way now. The 1A brake is actually a little stronger now that I've brought that power setting down. We have to watch for signals up ahead. They're going to tell us that we're going to drop into 40. So that is something I need to be wary of at this stage. We're within 2.5 kilometers. I have 3 full minutes to do that. I can probably leave the speed around 60 and still be... In fact, I saw a signal warning there. We're going to have to... get ready to bring our speed down shortly. I don't think it's for this signal. I think it's for the next signal. I am bringing it down slowly, though. I might bring it down for that signal anyway. I think we're still going to be on time if we do that. So I may still bring it down for that signal just to show you that. Now you saw the next advanced signal did give 2 yellows, meaning get ready to stop. This is going to be the end of our service at the end of this platform, but we don't have a red before this point. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to a 40 now, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep it coasting down until I need to bring it down, which is now. And now we want to hold our speed. Notice I'm going to move my throttle to an off position now. So we are leaving it off. We're being warned again about a eventual red signal. It won't be yet. If we scroll ahead, or zoom ahead rather, you're going to see that we are not getting that red signal yet. So we're going to go ahead and give you the view as we come into Nuremberg. And I believe this next signal is the one where the 40 takes effect. I've just brought it down early. I think we're going to be taking a junction to get over to 15. We have to, I would think. Might be this one, actually. This will be the 40 right here if it is. No, it isn't. So the 40 really takes effect when you reach the junction. We have 1 minute left to make our stop. We're now at the 40. This is our junction. Left. Ding dong. Attention passengers. This train terminates at Nuremberg. If you wish to continue to ride this train into the yard, be advised that we do not offer meal service. And the doors will be locked and you will not be allowed to leave or use any facilities or anything else. Be advised you may want to hop off now while you still can. Good day, and thank you for riding with us. And we're going to make our stop right here on platform 15. You can see the red signal is straight ahead. I'm going to go ahead and bring the view back out as we bring the train to a stop towards the end of the platform. We have the time to make the stop, but we're just going to go ahead and stop anyway. Arrival at Nuremberg Hbf platform number 15. Let's take a look at our train as we finish the service. And here you get a chance to see the two trains that come, the main trains that come with this route. The 612, which was our train on the right, and the 648, which is our train for scenario number 4, and the one we drove in scenario number 2 on the left. So these are the two trains that come with the route, and then you have a single iced tea scenario somewhere as well. Might be the TD, actually, the iced TD, I've been told it is. So that's scenario number 6. We'll see that in the future. So when we do return to this route, which will not be in the very near future of next day from now, it will be on scenario number 4, which will be in that 648, the train that is to your left. We're going to then return to the 612 for a slightly harder scenario out of Nuremberg than the one we had today, which, okay. And we're going to then return to the ICT, or move to the ICTD and then move to the final 612 scenario, which I'm not looking forward to. 5-star difficulty, and if this one was tight, that one's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, well done, driver. That was a relatively carefree ride through the valley to Nuremberg Hbf with our passengers able to make their connections on time. It is the end of your shift for the afternoon, so why not put your feet up and grab a coffee in the staff room? Well, point number 1, I just had a tooth cleaning, so my teeth are very sensitive to coffee right now. And second of all, I don't drink coffee. Let's look at our score. So as you see, we got a score lower than the score that I already had on this scenario. Since I already had a top score, I can't gain any more experience on this scenario anyway. I just did this for video purposes at this point. And if you're wondering, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the information on my achievements very quickly to tell you what the scenario achievement is. And as I bring that up, you might be noticing there might be a still on the text as I bring up the achievement. So that is just a symptom of that, unfortunately. But if I do a search and find the achievement using the search PB, that should bring it up. Spring Valley Blues is the name of the achievement. It's actually an 850. The other two were a 750. Looks like this one just requires a score of 850 points. And regarding other achievements, I'll tell you what some of the other achievements are that we are going to be coming upon here at some point. We are going to have Winter in the Valley, which is achievement for Scenario 4. Scenario 5 is Driving on a Sunny Afternoon. Morning Express, I should say, not Express, for number 6. Evening in the Valley is for number 7. Master of the Valley is for, well, completing everything, all 7. And that's just for completing all scenarios. I don't know if it has to be successful or not. On the Clock means that we've been playing the DLC for a minimum of 5 hours, which is going to be easy to do across 7 scenarios. They're each an hour long in pretty much every case. And for the Love of the Valley, for getting 150 miles on the route. Now, unfortunately, that one is not giving me any kind of tally right now. And interestingly, the 5 hours thing is also not giving me a tally right now. So I don't think the DLC pack one and the Love of the Valley achievements are working right now. So that is something I'm going to possibly report, because they don't seem to be accumulating any time for me. I've been playing this pack for 3 hours now easily. Just doing these 3 scenarios and a 4th one trying to retape this scenario. So I should already have that achievement, or be very close to having that achievement if you count the mistake time that would be added in. I should be like minimum 4.5 right now. And as a result, because I know that achievement is not working, that's something I can report. And the 150 miles, I show that as being 241.4 kilometers. I want to say I've got that by now. That's at least a 70-80 kilometer route, I believe, that we drive. And you saw that one stretch was 40 by itself, and the other ones were about 20 each. So that's easily 80 kilometers. I should have that achievement too, I would think. I should have that by now. So, yeah, those two are not working. The scenario ones are working, but the cumulative ones are not working. This is something I will need to point out. Hopefully those can be fixed at some stage, and they can be made to work again. In the meantime, look forward to scenario numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the future. Not now, but I will do them in the future. I am thinking of doing Liverpool-Manchester next time, but if I have something else I want ready to go at that time. I may shift to something completely different. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I won't know till I get back on Tuesday, possibly, at the earliest. And that's just in case if something happens over the weekend that I don't predict. But in any case, we're done with this for now. We are going to come back. I want to see if I can get those achievements fixed before I come back and finish those scenarios anyway. So it's not a bad idea for me to look into that and see if those will be fixed so I can then accumulate those achievements. I should get those easily in those last 4 scenarios, especially if I have to redo parts of it. In any case, like the video, subscribe to the channel, have yourself a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world, and I will see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. I'm Cyclone. See you later. Bye-bye.